We are now a full 3 months into the war with Iran.
And so we've invited former Congressman John Katko for his perspective. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
John, I mean, as best you can, I mean, 3 months into this war now, what have we gained? Maybe what have we lost here so far?
Sure. I think one thing we got to understand is Iran was the largest sponsor of state terrorism in the world and responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers' deaths throughout the years when we were in foreign wars before. And they're also one of the biggest cyber threats against us, and they fomented a lot of terrorism acts within the United States and throughout the world. So they're bad. Right. They're bad people. Yes. And going after them is understandable. The question I have is, when you go into a war like this, you better be ready to finish it. Kind of like in World War II with Japan and Germany. Total unconditional surrender was all we would take. And same in the Civil War when we went against the rebels who wanted to keep slavery. So if you go into war like this, you better be prepared to finish it. My concern is I'm not sure this administration is prepared or planned to finish it.
And why do you say that?
Because some of their acts are looking for a settlement on it already. They're looking for a way out of this thing. And part of it's because of the economic constraints. And part of it's because I don't think they anticipated the mess that the Strait of Hormuz has become.
Yeah, so I'm curious then, because that affects everybody. So what kind of impact has it had geopolitically?
Right. Well, in a way, I think it's empowered Iran a little bit because Iran's like, oh, we can put a stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz, and then everyone will buckle to us. And the thing that people are going to understand about Iran, they're not like most countries in the world. They don't care about their people. They just slaughtered tens of thousands of people who had dared to protest. So they don't care what happens to them. They don't care if the country gets destroyed. They're religious zealots. So any pressure point they can find, and they found out that the Strait of Hormuz is one of those pressure points.
Why is it so difficult to come to an agreement? What is happening? What's the insight here?
I think you can't negotiate with them. You know, anybody who's ever tried to negotiate with them has really either got their clock cleaned or found out they delay, they obfuscate, they play the shell game, and you never can really get an enforceable deal with them. And so, if that's the case, you better know that, and you should have known that when you started this war, instead of trying to figure it out as you go along.
Can we even tell right now how damaged Iran is? And you tell me what kind of that means, damage to the leadership, to the country, to, I mean, do we even know what kind of impact we've had?
I think Iran is severely damaged, both economically and structurally. But are they finished? No. And they're not finished with their military. They're not finished with remnants of their nuclear program. They still have the raw materials to make nuclear weapons. So are they finished? No. But if this was most other countries, they might want to say, I've had enough. But again, since they don't care about their people, they're willing to go to the 9th degree, and they really don't care if the U.S. makes it a parking lot.
I was wondering, how long can they keep going?
Yeah, well, they can keep going because they have the Strait of Hormuz as a choke point. But what the U.S. is doing, though, is strangling them economically. So it is a question of how long they can hang on that way. I suspect they got a ways to go before they're finished economically, but they are, make no doubt about it, they're severely hampered economically.
How long can we go? And I mean, we, the U.S., the military, the administration, but us. I mean, gas prices are well over $4. They've come down a little, but anything happens, they'll go right back up again. How long can we take this?
That's part of the matrix here is how much economic pain are we willing to endure as a country? And that's one of the things I look at Trump and I say from a messaging standpoint, he has been terrible. He's been very undisciplined, and he's not like, think about when we're in war in the past, right? Like FDR or others, Abraham Lincoln, right? They rallied the country, there was patriotic themes, there was a discipline with respect to information, and here it's almost whimsical what he says every day to the media, sends a lot of different signals that creates more angst, in addition to the tremendous amount of burden we're paying at the pump because of these actions.
And John, do you see any point where the U.S. would send in ground troops to Iran?
I certainly hope they don't, but I highly doubt that anyone would stomach that right now. And here's the thing, you know, I know a lot of people in the military. I worked with them for many years in Washington, and that's the paradox, because they're not willing to send in ground troops. And at the same time, without ground troops, you really can't finish the job. So why do we start this in the first place, I guess?
John, we're going to have to end it here. It was a great conversation. Always love your insight on things. So I'm sure we're going to have you back again. Thank you, sir.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.